What's up, party people? It is good to see everybody today. Actually, I don't see anybody. I only see myself, but I do have my Sin Network backdrop. We are Sin Network, Blueprint Church. This is for you. We are here, just excited to be on with you guys once again. Today is one of my favorite days because today is the day that we get a chance to talk just kind of Bible. And this is when all my Bible folks, this is where kind of people who love Jesus come on, right? You know, this is not with all the glitz and the glams. This is more when there's people who just want to grow, study God's word, understand God's word, and be able to communicate God's word today. And so I'm really excited about today. So Patsy is on. What's up, Patsy? You are number one. You are the first, and it is good to see you here. Kristen Jones, what's up, Kristen? How are you doing? Maria, what is up? Hello, how are you doing? Marianne, I hope everything is going well. Today is the day that we are continuing. We continue in our series. Basically, we're doing Acts chapter 19, but the theme of today is going from quiet time to proclamation. Is this the opportunity where we get a chance to really understand how do we go from understanding God's word, studying God's word, to proclaiming God's word. And this is like for every platform, any person, anyone that's getting a chance to do it. Today, I got a special guest. I'm excited because today we're going to be bringing on Jacqueline or Jackie Taylor. We'll find out from her which one she wants to be called. But she is going to be coming on today, and she's going to be walking us through Acts chapter 19. You know, I'm really excited because today we get a chance to get a female's perspective of just kind of walking through the text. Have a tremendous respect for Jackie. She actually does a lot for us with the Sin Network, leads our cohorts, you know, church planting cohort, and she is now here. And so we're just really excited, you know, about that. And again, we save our best guests for the people who are serious about the gospel. And today is that day where people like you who jump on to talk about that. And, you know, and we're also just going to tie in and just going to ask her specifically around what does it look like for us, you know, as the days ahead? And what does specifically to studying God's word, and how can we look at God's word in the midst of COVID-19, the message, how much that affected or impacted her or whatever. And so I'm really excited, you know, about that. So saying again, what's up to everybody, you know, as usual, you know, to go on, she'll be joining us at 11:05. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm playing around with this thing. So today I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna start with, you know, just kind of giving, and I ask her to jump in at 11:05. And then when she jumps in, we'll get a chance to ask her a couple of questions, and then we'll move forward. But to give some of the early announcements, again, like we always do, you know, if you need prayer at blueprintchurch.org. Just want to make sure /prayer, blueprintchurch.org/give in order to give. So what's up to you guys? Just wanted to say what's up. Loretta, you are a faithful. You, Patsy, you guys are faithful. Lucius, what's up? My beautiful wife, Angie. Look, I didn't run her off, you guys. After yesterday, we're still married. She's still supporting. She's still here. What's up, beautiful bride of mine? Angela, you are here. Larry Thomas, what's up? Lucius is on here. Shalom to you, brother. I'm glad to see you on here. So we got some of the faithful that are on here, the people to learn some different ways to go from studying our time with the Lord to proclaiming God's word. So we got a couple of minutes before Patsy joins us, not Patsy, I'm sorry, before Jackie joins us. Taylor Price, what's up, man? How you doing? I hope all is well. Tia, what is up, Tia? I would love to get you on to talk a little bit about some stuff. You know, I know that you also have some things that, you know, from a financial point that I would love. Fenda, what's up, Fenda? Hope you are doing well as well. And Jackie, she is here live and in the flesh. And we also, I mean, we got the view matching your hair. I mean, like, what's going on? Like, how long did it take you to pick
What's going on is all my kids in the house. I had to come outside in order to make sure we were uninterrupted.
Okay, because I mean, I love the backdrop. It feels like you was kind of setting that up. Like, you know, it's just kind of the floral arrangement.
I was trying to be ready for the TV show for today.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad. I'm
This is
glad.
the set design for today.
That's the set design.
Yep.
I love it. Hey, I love it. So there's people all over. There's that's watching. Hey, what's up? PT is on here. Ben Hudson. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Precious. What is going on? Angela Burks. She was here serving the whole weekend for the thing. So that's awesome. Les, it is good to see. All right, Jennifer Williams said, "What's up, Jackie?"
Hey.
Jackie, Angie knew what you was doing. She said, hiding from the kids. Yes, she knows that. She said that's a daily thing. So is this your spot? Is this where you go to hide from the kids?
No, normally I just go and sit on the front porch because in hiding as a mom, you still need to be semi-accessible. So if I'm sitting on the front porch and they can open the door and say what they need to say and then go right back in the house.
So like for Angie, we have I always have like about a 3 minute threshold, three to 5 minutes max before the next kid is gonna come and ask something
Oh yeah.
for them. So like what is about your threshold? Like how long can you get these spurts of away?
Well, this particular spurt, I have threatened people. Like, I
Okay.
have things to do. I'm going outside. You have cereal and milk. Don't. I'll see you when I see
I
you.
love it.
But generally, it's only going to be about five. No, 10 minutes is not going to happen. It's going to be somewhere between 5 and 10.
Yeah.
And they come and ask the same question that the one before them asked.
I love what you just said. You got cereal and milk. Like that is like all they need. That is all they need for it. It's like you got cereal and you got milk. What else do you need? I'm done. Is there anything else you need from me? So
Yeah, I don't have little babies, so y'all figure it out. Each one teach one, help each other out.
I love it. I love it. So we got people from all over wanting to hear. Like, I guess people are just saying, like, I want to learn how to study my word and take it to proclaiming God's word, and all the different stages and formats. So, first of all, Jackie, let me just, for me, talk about the elephant in the room. You are the first female on here that's going to be talking about, not the first female on the show, but the first female that is talking about, we're going to be walking through Acts chapter 19. First of all, thank you for even sharing that with us. But as we are just talking about going from quiet time to proclamation, everybody has platforms to being able to share God's word and all of that. And just so, how was the process going for you, overall, when I asked you to do it to now?
When you asked me, it was very exciting.
Okay.
Then I started doing it, and it was very painful. It was good though. I learned so much about what I did not know.
Okay.
As someone who has spoken, done conferences, done all kinds of things for years, I was like, "Oh, I got this. Psh, I got it." Then I was like, "Oh, did I make Jesus famous? Oh no, I just made my own point. Oh, okay, and cry and figure this out." I was listening to Tony Evans' book, and he said, "You can't expect to give people a Saturday night special and it be an anointed word." And I experienced that.
Yeah.
I experienced that. So it's been tough and stretching, but it's been good and exciting.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad. Well, I'm super excited about being able to listen. And again, we're going to be playing that, today here. And but Jackie, let me just kind of start off with, when you first sat down with the text, like it was obviously given to you, Acts chapter 19. It was given to you when you sat down to think about the text and think about kind of delivering and even like what were some of the first thoughts, some of the first things as you approach the text that you do or even you bring at the very beginning?
So obviously, I'm going to read through it and try to see. Okay, well, what is? I look for patterns.
Mm-hmm.
What is something happening over and over again? Also, is there a conflict? Is there a problem? Is there a need that's being addressed? Mm-hmm. So those are the first two things that I really look for. Kind of like when you say the same thing to your kids over and over again because you really mean it. And then I also look, whenever I'm reading the word, I also look for how it opens and what's the last thing that's said, especially if it's at the end of the chapter or something, because I'm like, you said that last for a reason. Like, I need to remember that. So that's kind of my process just as I'm going through it. And then if there are any words that I don't know what they mean, or I'm unsure, I automatically look those up because I'm a definitions person.
Okay. Okay. So that's good. So that's a great. So we're like, how did you begin to? We've been talking a lot about kind of the big idea or the burden, of the text. Like as you are kind of wading through all the things that you just mentioned, like how do you kind of come to that burden or that big idea or kind of the thought from the text?
So for me, the process involves looking at it, seeing what I see with my eyes, like, okay, this is what I think it is, praying about it, and then walking away from it.
Okay.
I have to walk away from it for about 24 hours or so, and then come back and be like, sorry, that was ghetto, and come back and say, okay, no, this is actually what it's saying. So for me, it definitely involves looking, praying about it, asking the Lord, is this what you want to be emphasized, and walking away from it for a minute so that I can come back with fresh eyes and fresh perspective.
Okay. That's good. That's a good word. So let's talk about specifically about Acts chapter 19. In Acts chapter 19, you sat down with it. Like, what were some of those themes? What were some of those things that were repeated over and over again? Like when you initially sat down with it and you read it and you left and you came back to it, like what were some of the themes? What are some of the things that take us through that process for us?
Yeah. So when looking at Acts 19, what I saw was obedience. I saw two things. I saw obedience and I saw Jesus being made famous. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, this is the second time I went to it. The first time I came up with my own theory of what it was going to be, and it was real hype, but it was not really what the text was saying. I was trying to force it to say something to match up with my 3 points that I wanted to give. Yeah. But once I had an encounter with Jesus and went back, I saw obedience and the name of the Lord and the word of the Lord being famous and being in the forefront. I also saw, which stuck out to me in the CSB, it says that in verse 8, I believe it says that Paul was preaching in the synagogues and some became hardened and argumentative and disrespected or disregarded the way. And every time I read that, I was like, why is it saying the way? Like, what is that? Mm-hmm. And so finally I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's a direct reference to John 14:6. I'm the way, the truth, and the light. So again, that was just another way of, this is about Jesus. They weren't dissing Paul, they were dissing Jesus. So I saw those things: obedience, the word of the Lord going forth, God being made famous, and even in the midst of people, everybody not getting on board.
Yeah, that's really good. And what I love about what you just said in there, and hopefully they didn't miss it, is the difference between eisegesis and exegesis. I know that's a big word, a famous word.
I looked it up last week, so I'm good. I'm with you.
You with it? Okay. For those of you who don't know, it's a big word. Eisegesis and exegesis is kind of what Jackie mentioned. Basically, the difference is eisegesis is whenever you are going into the text looking for something, like I got something to say and I need the text to validate what I'm saying. Like I'm looking and I'm putting my thoughts onto the text, versus exegesis where you're trying to draw out the point of the text. Remember, when we're talking about studying God's word, we're trying to ask first the question is, what does the text say, and what is the saying about it, right? And if we're trying to exegete, and then we take the point of the passage and then we apply it to today, But oftentimes when I'm hearing communicators, we'll go in, it's like, I got a burden, I got something to say, and then we have a text. It's like, okay, I'm gonna read this, but then I'm gonna say what I want to say. And being able to wrestle with that. So, you mentioned that like after you had your encounter with Jesus, then you came back and he's like, all right, Lord, you have something to say.
And I also want to commend the I don't even know, the preaching development crew that I'm with at Blueprint, because, when I brought the original sermonette to them, they were all like, I'm the only female. They could have taken it easy on me. They were all like, Jackie, that energy is great. It's fantastic. You knew what you were talking about. But I don't think that's the main point of the text. And I was like, okay. Well, let's try that again. So yeah, that's a lesson that I learned this go round, kind of with on-the-job training.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's good. All right. So like after you've had that wrestle and you came up with the main point of text, what did you determine as your main point or your main theme?
So, focusing in on verses 1 through 10, I determined that my main theme was God can use our everyday obedience.
Hmm.
God can use our everyday obedience and use it to do great things in the earth.
Okay, so if that's the point, God uses our everyday obedience. Again, without having to get into the message, because we're going to play the message here. What would you say? Like, what did you want us to take away from the fact of God uses our everyday obedience?
Well, I think the main idea were two main ideas. Number one was that you said it in the beginning, we all have a platform for ministry. And even just using the words everyday obedience, I want us to stop looking for these grand, earth shattering occasions to be obedient to the Lord and have this magnificent thing happen. And I want us to realize that in the everyday decisions that we make, um, that change for our families, for our communities, for our churches lies on the other side of our everyday obedience. So if the Lord is asking you to get up in the morning and do your devotion, even for me this week, I have pretty bad insomnia, so I don't go to sleep till late. And the Lord was like, use this time, submit this time to me. And so I don't know what lies on the other side of that decision to be obedient. But my first step was hearing what the Lord said. And my second step was being obedient to that. And so also just kind of looking at things in life in equations. 1 + 1 = 2. What have I been asked to do? Have I been obedient to that? And what happens as a result of it?
Oh, that's powerful. And what's interesting is that we're always looking for the grandiose, and I love what you're talking about but like it's in the mundane, it's in the everyday. Like we recognize that there's about 3 years of Jesus's kind of ministry, But if you look at all of the Gospels, we only see about 52 days of the 3 years, of Jesus' ministry. But we want every day to feel like one of those 52 days, like when Jesus is healing something and doing and we want that. But I love what you're talking about, this idea that God uses everyday obedience. It was just simply like, let's go to Jerusalem. Like it took them time to walk in Jerusalem. We didn't get all of that time, that in between time, when miracles weren't happening and all those things. And so I think that is critical. That is critical for that. If there's any questions, we got about a few more minutes. If there's any questions that you guys have for Jackie, in terms of prepping and sharing, please let us know. Jackie, what resources, what other aids do you use when it comes to studying God's word, and being able, or even sharing God's word? What are some other things?
So I use a regular dictionary, a regular Webster's Dictionary, because I'm like, does this word, when I want to say something, does this word really convey what I want to say? So when I said everyday obedience, I looked up obedience, which was the submission to the authority of another. And I said, yep, that means what I was trying to say. So a dictionary, I am learning to use Bible dictionary, a Strong's Concordance. I'm kind of old school church, so I'll break out the Strong's and throw it open in a minute. And then just cross-referencing things like, okay, I don't understand that. Google. I'm a Google queen. Like, what do these words mean in this verse? And, then that's taking me to Blue Letter Bible and things of that nature. So, I don't want to present that, oh, this has been my teaching style, and I've been doing stuff like this. I have not. And so I'm learning as I go. And to that point, one of the main resources that I've used this go round, and I believe will continue to, is people who are wiser than me and people who've been doing this, people who, when I hear them minister, I feel like you really opened up that text. I sent the message to one of the Blueprint pastors who I really trust and was like, hey, can you just tell me what you think? Like, I don't need you to pat me on the back, but what am I missing? Where are the holes? So, yeah.
That's good. Is there, like, when I know you've led conferences, you've done other things, and this is not the first time. Is there a difference from you kind of preparing your message and you're going to leading, a small group, or to going and speaking at a conference or whatever it is? Like, is there a difference between kind of when you publicly are speaking? And again, I know that there's a difference from the formality of what you're
Mhm.
doing, but just in terms of like the preparation or the heart preparation that you have. Because again, part of this is that everybody has a platform, and we're also trying to help people just go from, some people who are not having public speaking ministries,
Right.
like how can you help them and what differences do you distinguish in that?
I really don't think that there is a difference because when you're studying the word, you need to learn the word first, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not studying to be able to preach. I'm studying because it's how I ask and seek and knock. It's how I find out my directives from the Lord for my life. I think the most powerful messages come out of those times that we've all been in when you're reading the word and it's maybe a passage that you've read over a bazillion times and you read it this time and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I got it now. Like even
Mm-hmm.
what I referenced earlier, the way, when it hit me like, Jesus, they're dissing you. It's not Paul. Wait a minute, this situation that I'm going through in my life right now is not about me. It's about you
Mm.
teaching me how to have enduring obedience. Oh, okay. And then it's kind of like the wheels start turning. So a
Yeah,
lot of that just applied for my personal life, and it overflows into passion when
that's good.
delivering it to other people.
Yeah, that's really good. We talk about emotions and being angry for something, and we talk about even developing a burden, but you
Mhm.
allowing it first to kind of hit you first, and what matters in this text about you, like you said, it overflows into passion. I think that's huge. That's great. So, okay, if there's no other questions that you guys have for Jackie, what we're gonna do, Jackie, is we're gonna allow us to kind of step off, and then we're going to listen to if Jackie, if you still have a few more moments, and people may want to interact with you via the chat, and you can go in and and I will continue to be on, and Jackie will be on. If you guys have any questions for either one of us, please do. But I got a little fear because I did not thoroughly prep for this. And so, and I know that everybody can see all of my mistakes. And so I have to literally go into my email right now, get it, and then prep the whole thing. So you guys are going to see all of that. So I just want you guys to know that, because usually I already have it queued up and ready. This time I'm not ready. So, all right, now that my shame is done, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So, Jackie, I appreciate you. And everybody, we're about to put Jackie on. Thanks,
All
Jackie.
right. Thank you.